Welcome to the KWSM Social Media Help Desk. I'm Jeff, filling in for Katie. Joining me today, content editor Taylor, content editor Sandra. How are you? First things we want to start off with, Twitter had an outage today. I don't know if you know this. Maybe you experienced this. It happened about 7:15 on our time on the West Coast. So maybe you were still asleep. Maybe you got up and you checked Twitter first and you freaked out. I don't know. It only lasted about 30 minutes and then Twitter got it up and running. And the question I had in the office today is, when every other platform breaks, everyone heads to Twitter. Hey, my Facebook isn't working. My YouTube's down. What happened to Instagram? Where do you go when Twitter goes down?
I mean, I don't think I have anywhere to necessarily go and complain like I would do if Twitter was up, because that would be my go-to. But if I was looking to see why, like if Facebook's down, the first place I always go is Twitter to see why Facebook is down. If I didn't have Twitter to see why Twitter is down, I mean, Google would be the first place that I would look.
That's funny. I would do the opposite. I would go to Facebook. So I would do the switcheroo. Like if Facebook was down, I would go to Twitter. If Twitter's down, I would go to Facebook. I would go to the news feed there, and I'd be looking for news stories on Twitter being down.
Facebook's good for that kind of stuff, but also at the same time, immediately...
About people saying I feel tired today. Search that on Facebook, and like you said, you really have to wait for a news article or some kind of article to publish to figure out what the story is. Whereas on Twitter, everything's real time and it's just flying. And so whether it's an earthquake or an outage, like it's just, there's always information.
Exactly, and maybe then Taylor is right that Google would be the better place to go to. Because then the results would be instantaneous. There would be trending news stories on it that wouldn't be on Facebook quite yet.
So did you notice the outage? If you did, leave us a comment on the feed here. Obviously it was only out for 30 minutes and probably most of the world didn't even know. But a lot of people were talking about it. Okay, so let's talk about some of our heavier hitting stuff. We were talking about Twitter and we were talking about Facebook. Let's talk about Instagram. And if you use Instagram, you know that stories is kind of, everybody's almost migrated from the feed to the stories now, especially people that were loyal to Snapchat who said they'd never give up Snapchat. And I'd love to, Sandra, you're going to tell us a little bit about this, but I'd love to get your guys' opinion on how you use each platform.
So I'm one of those people who has completely jumped ship from Snapchat to Instagram stories. It's all in one app. It's very helpful to me. I don't have to switch between apps. But what I really think is exciting about Instagram stories the most is the ability for brands to use it for marketing. Because Instagram has very good analytics and Instagram stories has its own analytics as well. And it's a great, unique way to allow businesses and companies to put out a customized call to action using type mode. So you can take any kind of link, any kind of message you want to get out there to your audience and engage them using customized fonts and colors. And from there you can see the engagement rate and also the link clicks and see how successful your posts and call to actions are.
And what are you noticing? Are there better fonts? Like if I'm a beginner to Instagram stories and I want to start posting things for my brand and give them a behind the scenes look, because we all know that taking people behind the scenes and giving that exclusive access is how you win on social media if you're a brand. Are there ones that work better than others?
Yes, so there are 5 different fonts on Instagram stories. There's classic, modern, neon, typewriter, and strong. And they sound almost exactly what they're advertising. So the ones that do the best are the ones that are very bold and easy to read. So classic, modern, and strong would be the best for anyone putting out a call to action. And
then what are the types of content? I'll jump in over to you, Taylor, a little bit. What are the types of content that you think work best on stories in conjunction with those fonts?
I think anything that's demonstrating the use of the product. If you're a brand that maybe the product, just looking at it, you're not going to be very sure of what it does. I know that's something that brands find challenging with Instagram, is that it's very heavily photo-based, and what if your item needs more of an explanation? What if it needs more of a tutorial to really get people to understand the purpose of it? I think that's a great way for brands to utilize stories, because you have the time there to give a step-by-step tutorial. This is exactly how you use our product and our brand. And I think that could be really useful.
Who do you guys see as brands that are really, maybe they've taken off on Instagram stories? Do you see anyone that's infiltrated that yet? doing a great job?
I see a lot of clothing brands. They'll usually do like a behind the scenes photo shoot, like if they're having a full on photo shoot in a studio, and then I'll see someone do like maybe like, oh, okay, here's the model, she's getting ready. Oh, look at these cool shirts, like we're all lined up. And sometimes I'll even see Instagram takeovers through stories, like wineries will do them. They'll have a wine influencer come in and they'll do a tasting and they'll take over that winery's Instagram stories for the day, and they'll advertise it on their own Instagram to get their followers to come to that winery's Instagram stories.
And I'm seeing brands use it for ads really successfully, and that really grabs my attention. As I'm flipping through people I know personally, I'll see high quality ads as if you were almost like a commercial you would see on TV. I'm seeing those placed in between, and that really catches my eye. And then it's so easy to just swipe up, and then it immediately takes you to the company's website, to the product, whatever they're selling. And the whole process is very seamless, which I like. I don't feel like it takes me out of the experience. So I'm watching, and then I see something I'm interested in, and then I swipe up, and then before you know it, I purchase something and spend half my paycheck on this product that I didn't need.
The trickery.
But it's good because it does trick you. It's so seamless and so organic that it almost makes the buying process easier.
It is. It's a great friend for marketers, and I think it's a good response because in the past, people did used to complain that Instagram wasn't able to have links. And I feel that with stories, they've really gone out of their way to, as you said, make this a seamless process.
And for the people that are watching that don't know, how are you able to scroll past the ad or maneuver the ad? I mean, how are they placing ads so that you actually, as a marketer, you know that they're being seen by somebody?
It's funny because it is kind of like muscle memory. Like you just know, like trying to explain it is a little more difficult, but as you're flipping through your phone, it's just like swipe left, swipe right, tap up, whatever, your thumb kind of remembers it. But the way they have it is, it's very similar to if you're watching someone you know's story. So if you're not interested in it, you just swipe left. So you have, 3 seconds to really capture the attention of the user before they just swipe, just like they swipe someone that they're not as interested in the story.
Yeah, exactly. So you could be watching your friends' stories, and then the next minute when their story ends, all of a sudden you're watching an ad. And they, as Taylor said, they only have a select amount of time to catch your attention before you go, oh no, this is an ad.
You're just going to swipe, yeah.
Okay, so let's switch gears. So we're talking about ads, and I think if you've dipped your toe into any kind of social ads, you started with Facebook. And so one of the things I think that are good to know are helpful practices for creating Facebook ads. You're going to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so when a lot of brands are starting out, or if they're doing marketing for themselves, interest-based targeting is kind of where everybody starts out. That's pretty much the launching point for everyone. So they go in and they say, okay, what type of a user would someone who used my product be? They're interested in sports, they're interested in outdoors, and they put the interests in, and then Facebook will generate an audience for them. That's kind of like the starting baseline, but there's so much more you can do with Facebook audiences. So I have 3 that I kind of want to talk about. The first one being friends of fans. And so what you can do here, and you've probably seen it on your own Facebook pages, when you're scrolling by, you'll see an ad, and then right above the ad it'll say, Mary, Susan and Joe like this page. And there'll be people you know in your real life who like this brand, and that's why you're seeing the ad. And so you can do that for your own Facebook page as well, your company page. You just tell Facebook you want to do that, and then it would create an audience of